Yes, it's me, it's Benedict. Today we're going to be reviewing a cartoon that stars Tom and Jerry. Van Buren's Tom and Jerry. Later renamed Dick and Larry to avoid confusion. I'm probably the only person under the age of 85 who was introduced to this Tom and Jerry before the Cat and Mouse. Anyway. Tom and Jerry were created by the Van Buren Studios in 1931, but they only lasted for 2 years. Some of their films were good, others are best left not talked about. But I'm not a masochist, so I'll be talking about one of their better received cartoons, Mania, which is noted for bending the fourth wall of animation by way of a magic pencil. And I can tell it was notable in their filmography because 8 years later there was a copycat cartoon made by 20th Century Fox's resident animator Paul Terry, no relation. 1940's The Magic Pencil was produced by Paul Terry, no relation, and it features a zany screwball type character called Gandy Goose and his ill-tempered foil Sourpuss. And this cartoon is also based on a magic pencil, hence the title. And of course we all know what happens when two cartoons share the exact same story on this channel. They compete against each other, and since my last attempt at a grudge match went so well, I think it's time for another one. So, let's draw some conclusions. Round 1, best opening. So, who goes first? Tom and Jerry go first. Okay, so Mania starts off in a pretty standard way for the time, with a dancing cow and Tom, or probably Jerry, painting her, as his easel also dances. Pretty standard stuff for the early 30s. Then Jerry, or probably Tom, skips up to the dancing duo, only for this to happen. Yeah, sometimes petting paint in your face could have some pretty bad results. So Jerry throws the paint onto the ground and sucks it up with, what else, a magic pencil. It's never explained how Jerry got the pencil, he just does. Okay, let's go to Gandy. The magic pencil starts with Gandy Goose dancing to the radio, much to Sourpuss's detriment. Quiet! When the radio makes this announcement.
Send in 2,000 box tops and 10 cents and you will receive a magic pencil.
Did you say a magic pencil?
Yes.
So Gandy does just that, literally sending the box tops through the radio.
Thank you. And here is your magic pencil.
Which then literally coughs off the magic pencil, literally. So it's nice to know where he got the pencil from anyway. Okay, so both approach the magic pencil concept in rather different ways. Tom and Jerry go for a more eye-candy approach with not much story, whereas Gandy focuses more on story, while also showing creative visual gags. So for a better balance of story and visual presentation, point goes to Gandy. Okay, next round. Round 2, best egg. What do I mean by this? Well, in both cartoons, the first thing they draw is an egg. I'll show you what I mean. First, Tom and Jerry. Tom is amazed by Jerry's magic pencil, so Jerry demonstrates his abilities by drawing an egg. I think you get the gist of it. Okay, now to Gandy. Sourpuss asks what Gandy's got and scoffs at the idea, so Gandy demonstrates by drawing an egg of his own. Okay, so we have the same beat, but Tom and Jerry has slightly better pacing and timing, which makes for a funnier scene. So, point to Tom and Jerry. Speaking of which, let's check in with them, shall we? Tom tries the pencil out for himself, but fails. So Jerry sharpens it with the shavings becoming Dutch clogs. Sure, why not? Then Jerry takes Tom's hat and conjures 2 birds out of it, who immediately start dancing. Because animation in the early 30s. By the way, Gandy doesn't do anything with clogs in his cartoon. Then Jerry transforms the birds into a saxophone, which Gandy does do. So, round 3, best sax. So of course Jerry starts playing. And the notes turn into ducks for some reason. Then the saxophone turns into a duck itself and dances around. So how does Gandy get saxy with it? Gandy rushes outside the house and he draws his saxophone before playing it. This time the notes turn into swans, but the saxophone just sprouts legs and doesn't transform any further.
Ow!
Then Sourpuss tries to hit Gandy, who springs into action, literally. Again, similar scenes, but also again, Tom and Jerry has better pacing, so point to Tom and Jerry. Right then, time for the technical part. Round 4, Best Animation. Jerry draws some floating vegetables, and puts faces on them.
Yes, we have no bananas. We have no bananas today.
Now this song is an old Tin Pan Alley novelty song called Yes We Have No Bananas, a song which, as of this year, is exactly 100 years old. Then Jerry transforms the veg into people, just because you can do that in animation, turning the tomato and potato into a happy couple.
The thrill of your caress is making me confess you've got me in the palm of your hand.
And the banana into a melodrama villain. For some reason. Okay, what does Gandy do at this point? Well, Gandy stops the chase and draws Sourpuss a girl to distract him. Jeez, I know we expect women to look like stick figures, but that is ridiculous. That cannot be good for her health. Much to Gandy's chagrin, Sourpuss and his girl dance happily with each other. So, Gandy draws in, guess what, another melodrama villain.
Put 'em up! Put 'em up!
Sourpuss tries to put up a fight, but fails, and the villain makes off with his girl. So, for the point in this round, I'm aware that the animation of Paul Terry, no relation, is not well regarded in animation circles, but in my opinion, it's the better of the two. Yes, it's two different styles from two different decades, but the quality of the line work is a lot more consistent in the Magic Pencil than it is in Pencilmania. Oh, and some parts of Pencilmania look actually kind of creepy. So, at the risk of being stoned for blasphemy, point to Gandy. Okay, back to Tom and Jerry. While the happy couple sing gaily, the villain comes around and smacks the man's hindquarters. The guy retaliates, and he and his girl rush into a house, where chaos ensues. So Jerry comes and draws a car out of a window, which Gandy also does, so we all know what that means! Round 5, Best Car. So with the couple, the car speeds away. You know, I kind of like the little detail of the couple being surprised at what's going on. Okay, so what does Gandy do? Sourpuss begs Gandy to help him. So he promptly draws a car out of a door, and the chase is on. Pretty similar stuff again, but Gandy's car does anticipation, one of the 12 principles of animation, whereas Tom and Jerry doesn't. So, point Gandy! Okay, back to the story. Round 6, Best Melodrama. The villain pops out of the boot and taunts the couple. But then Barbie punches him, and she and Ken escape on a plane. Ugh, don't remind me. The villain tries to take aim, but then the car falls off the edge of the cliff. And then the villain does this. Then he shoots down the plane and they tell me that cartoons are just for kids. Then Jerry draws some railway tracks. Why? And then Ken is knocked out. Just as the train comes. But then Tom kicks Dick dastardly onto the tracks and... What? Okay, so what does Gandy do? The villain takes Sourpuss's Goyle to a sawmill where the logs are surprisingly flexible. Physics? What's that? He makes the moves on her, but she rejects him. So he decides to shred her. Somehow that's still pretty tame compared to how the manosphere takes rejection.
Gandy and Sourpuss get near the mill, but it's a very long way at the top of a cliff. Luckily, Gandy has his magic pencil and he draws in some steps.
I could do with that level of convenience in my life.
While the two have antics on the water wheel, the damsel is tied to a log. When Gandy and Sourpuss make it, the villain comes out. So Sourpuss and the villain duel, while the girl shuffles up the log.
Kinda negates the peril, doesn't it?
But when it looks like the villain has won, Gandy rushes in and erases him.
He's gone.
Quick, they're going.
So out of the two, both of them go for classic melodrama scenarios, but Tom and Jerry has more sense of danger and higher stakes, so point Tom and Jerry. So with the scores at 3-all, it all comes down to this.
Round 7, best ending. It is revealed that Dick Dastardly survived. Until that happened.
Oh dear, my boyfriend's dead! Oh, my hero!
But before Tom can kiss her, Jerry tears through the screen and sucks her. Into the pencil, that is. So, Tom chases Jerry and...
Wait, that was your ending? Okay, so how does Gandy wrap things up?
So Sourpuss rushes in to untie his damsel, but Gandy draws a handle to stop the saw. Sourpuss and his girl share a kiss, but like Jerry, Gandy sucks her into the pencil.
Give me that pencil.
Sourpuss slams the pencil, but then it becomes a rocket, and then...
It does Spirit of 76 for some reason. Okay, so both cartoons end on an absurd note, but Tom and Jerry bends the fourth wall a lot better, so point Tom and Jerry. So there we are, folks. Pencilmania takes this match by a nose.
And that's not to throw shade at Gandy Goose's magic pencil. It does have well-drawn animation, which, considering what I heard about Paul Terry,
No relation.
that's saying something. And every character has a distinct personality to help them stand out. But it still could have done a bit more with its premise than it does, and the stakes could have been higher than they actually are.
And of course, there's the old standby of recycling someone else's idea.
So that's why, again, the original cut wins out. While Tom and Jerry may not have much personality themselves, their supporting cast definitely does. And Pencilmania itself really has fun with its medium, proving that animation can do pretty much anything it wants. Oh, and there are higher stakes in the story as well. For a recommendation, I would say both are worth viewing, but of course Pencilmania is worth watching even more.
Nice to know I could draw a conclusion. Well, thank you all for watching. If you like this, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. And I think I've got a really good one for next time, so I'll see you then.
Yes, we have no bananas. We have no bananas.